Okay, we coming back in, y'all. We gonna get this right. Boom. Connect.
Hey.
Okay, there we go. So let me reintroduce. So I tell everybody, you gotta have a person in your space that you can call and talk to about anything, good, bad, ugly. I talk to you guys all the time about finances, me and Tasha had those type of conversations. Um, we just call to check on each other. We call to make sure everybody's okay. This is a person that I love. You know I love you, damn Tasha. And we like you can I can gush over you too all day. But so Tasha, talk to me. So I never the thing crazy about is that we never really talked about your journey as a makeup artist.
Yeah.
We kind of jumped into it.
I mean, we could just jump into it. No, this is a conversation, like you said, this is a family conversation. I think you know a side of me a lot of people don't know. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Of you past the industry, it's definitely a relationship that is priceless to me. And people don't know, it's been 11 years for me. I'm self-taught. I just built this company, my brand, my name, my reputation off relationships, hard work, integrity. Just making sure that my reputation spoke for who I am and not more so what I do. Because if you do what you do in grace and you do what you do because you love it, everything that you want will naturally follow behind that.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so y'all say is it my sound is bad? Cut your you got your Wi-Fi on, Tasha?
Do I have my Wi-Fi on? We can see if my Wi-Fi is on. One
Oh well,
second.
no,
Do
we
you
good.
want it to
Well,
be on or do you want it to be off?
you want to be off.
Okay, 1 second.
Yeah. Okay, can y'all while she doing that, are y'all hearing me? Am I hearing me better? Okay, let's see. Is that
Is
okay?
that
That's
better?
better on my end because I'm not hearing my feedback. Oh, there
Okay.
we go.
Okay.
We good. There we go.
All right.
All
So,
right.
all
So you've been 11 years in the game, self-taught. And so what made you want to get into makeup?
right. So here's the funny part. I was gonna be a nurse, right? And I know, right? Can you imagine? And so I wanted to do something that I can help people. And be an impact to people's lives in a positive way. So I went to school to be an esthetician. I'm not really the one to touch toes and rub on feet. Damn. Okay. Then I was going to go to nursing school, but then I was like, the journey that entailed, I didn't think that was a good fit. Makeup became my ministry. I'm able to make you feel better, look better, move better, all in about 45 minutes to an hour. So I had the best of both worlds. I am able to touch people and really sit here and, as a job, I feel sometimes we're acting therapists. People have to trust you, and they have to feel comfortable with seeing you at their sales before the world sees them, like at their raw sales, their vulnerable sales. If you're the first person I see early in the morning, to me, I hold that in a high regard. So, being a makeup artist for me is so much more than makeup.
Hold on, I'm trying to figure. I'm over here playing with the sound, child. I don't know what's going on today. Now, wait. Now, what you're not gonna do, Instagram, is wait till my sister get on here and act the fucking fool. That's what we're not gonna do. That's what we're not gonna do, Instagram.
So they're saying they can't hear the live.
They can hear it. They said when I talk. But I think I had to turn my mic down.
Okay.
Okay, now it's good. So I had to turn my mic down. That's what it was.
Okay. So I'm gonna sit
Okay.
my down so we're not swaying in the river valley,
Oh,
honey.
now I can't hear you down, child.
Can you hear me? Oh,
We gotta do a Zoom call. Shit.
so can you hear me now?
I can. Yeah, you got a cover on your phone.
I do.
Take that off, child. We should have did a mic check.
We definitely should have did a.
Okay, it's good now. We good, y'all. Okay. Oh,
Are we okay now?
I can hear you now. We good, girl. We good.
So I was the problem.
Yeah, well, I mean, we both was.
How about that?
There we go. Let me get that good idea. Pretty. Hold on one second. Let me put my earbud in. So we gonna get to this story, girl.
We're gonna be doing a lot of copy and pasting, my friend.
Okay. There we go.
Are you clear? Because I'm clear.
Yeah, I'm clear. We're clear now. Now, are we better, y'all?
I'm gonna move closer as well.
Okay. We better.
Okay.
There we go. All right. So now, did you know going into this space that you were going to become Latasha Wright? Like, did you know that Latasha Wright was going to have a name?
Now, let me tell you something. I'm still trying to figure out what that name is attached to, Derek, because I'm still trying to build that name, Derek. You know, I'm far from where I came and I'm far from where I want to be, but I'm so grateful that I have been able to make a mark in the city where I was born and raised. I am grateful that I could make a phone call and people answer. I am grateful that, you know, when I call, you know, I get yeses. And so that doesn't mean, it means a lot. It really does.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm gonna jump into the messy part real quick. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm gonna ask. Never get the because I'm just so happy to see you because I haven't seen you in months.
I know. We usually have bumped into each other on the set by now.
I know,
you
yeah.
Somewhere.
Or I was just stopped by the shop. It's been a minute. Let's start. I forgot to get to ask my first two questions I always ask. Is one, how did COVID affect you and your business? So let's talk about with that. So how did COVID?
Well, with COVID, I mean, it definitely affected me like everyone else, but it actually sent me into a very creative space. I believe that the shutdown allowed us to slow down, to think, refocus, regroup. And it gave me a reality check that procrastination will really be a big hindrance to you. Because I had a long to-do list of things I needed to do, wanted to do, and I needed to accomplish. And then it's like when you slow down, you realize, okay, is time the problem? Or is intentional time management really the problem? And so I realized that, you know, we have to be accountable for every minute of your day, every thought that you think about, every action that you take. So I figured that for me, this is how I started to think thanks to COVID-19. If I do one thing different than I did last month every day, I've checked 30 things off my to-do list at the end of the month. And so therefore, I'm able to move closer to my goal literally one step at a time by taking one different action step. So, you know, COVID-19 from a perspective of like business, you know, we all got shut down, but, you know, I think I was absolutely able to create 2 new businesses during COVID-19, which was actually a blessing for me. Mr. Wright, I was able to come up with that. Is, you know, I focusing on male grooming for my men because I think that's an untouched market. I think that sometimes our men are they're not going to run to the beauty supply stores like we are. And so sometimes I wanted to make sure that any woman in their lives, whether it be a daughter, a girlfriend, a fiance, you know, a fans club member, whoever, I was going to make sure your man had what he needed. He don't have no excuse to leave the house. I got your bag, baby. Ship it to you. Keep one in the house. My man can keep one in the car. Put one in your gym bag. And it's just all your necessities that a man needs on a daily basis. And women, we stay in the stores. Men, not so much.
And speaking of men, what with COVID-19, the next thing we happen is the Black Lives Matter movement. And you do have a son, and so how has all of this affected you? How's your conversation with your son been? Like, how is all that for you?
No, for me, I tell you, it really affected me. I actually found myself being an activist. I found myself having very hard but necessary conversations with my son, because unfortunately, I'm raising 2 young Black men in my house. You understand what I'm saying? And understanding that the system was not strategically set up for them to win. You know, so I find that I tell them education is very much so important. Knowing how to respond to others' actions are equally as important in educating yourself. So, you know, I pray that all my blessings allow me to have more reach and more access to a higher level of understanding, not only a higher level of understanding, but a higher level of impact. And that means impacting from change, starting a foundation, making sure I'm out here marching, make sure I'm out here, using the platform that I have to bring awareness, because this is a horrible problem. We should not still be having these conversations, but since we are, let's make everything that we say and do meaningful, so that we're, kind of tearing down this system. Because I'm telling you, this thing was built before us. And we have a president in place who wants to keep it that way. And so, we need to get out here and vote. We got to protest. People may not know, I'm online all night filling out these appeals and making sure that I respond to those emails, making sure that I join foundations that what they do for a living is, learn about these laws and the things that I don't study. So I've made it my business to become part of organizations bigger than mine.
You better have all, girl. You better have your media training ready, girl. You better have your media training ready. So now I got the heavy stuff out the way. Now let me jump into the messy part of things for me.
A little mess.
Just a little mess. So so Tasha, you are a makeup artist, and how is it being a Black woman, right? Being a beautiful Black woman, and working on other women, for one, and then two, working on other women's men, if you have to, for one, because I do know that in unfortunately in our Black, I just know about the Black community, but women are not as supportive of other women if they feel intimidated by a woman. So for you, how do you work through that? And how does it affect you personally? And then two, how do you work through it?
Yeah, so that is a very real question. That is a real struggle for me. And what I say, that's one of those touchy situations that I had to dim my lights a lot of times to be able to even be hired. But I think once I was able to get into the room, the women and my clients knew I was genuinely there for them. And I'm very, very professional. So, and I knew that what I did would follow me. I knew that people would talk about one wrong move versus all the right ones I made. So I made it my point to move with integrity. I made it my point to don't even give room for conversation and attach any foolishness to my name when it came down to men, when it came down to my clients' customers, when it came down to my business and my brand. So at the end of the day, if you really talk to anybody that knows me, I tell them they mean. You can't be messy around me. I saw him. So, I do build trust, and I think that I've made it my business to let them know I'm here to do makeup, and I'm here for no other reason. I tend to do my work and I go home. Now I've been sitting home with pay upon arrival. I've been hired, and I think that sometimes people may think I have their characteristics and I don't. So then I'm guilty of your guilt. And then that's fine. But I think that I worked even harder. And when I had those situations, when people don't want to hire me because they don't want me in the room, I realized it doesn't really have anything to do with me. That's a problem that was there before me, and it'll be there after me. But if you do allow me in your home and you do allow me in your space, then I promise the energy that I'm going to give and the professionalism that I'm going to maintain, you would be pleasantly surprised.
So yeah, now you were supposed to be a nurse. You were supposed to be a nurse. So then what was that change of factor where you just like, you know what, I want to do this?
Let's keep it 100. So, you my friend. Anybody that these folks takes about 7 to 10 days to work, I can make you feel better and look better in 45 minutes. So therefore, it was quicker results. I don't have time to be mixing medicine. I mix makeup instead, and I'm just happier. You're prettier, and it's a lot cleaner for me. It's a lot more sanitized over here in this studio. So, and I'm able to just do what I love. I'm very passionate about spreading the ministry of makeup through beauty and being creative and then giving back. Because when you're a service provider, you're really a giver. You're giving of your time, you're giving of your energy, and I hold that in highest regards. And I hold that to understand that my reputation would supersede me when I retire, or my reputation would supersede me when I'm no longer here. And I wanted those to be, you know, good accolades that I heard. I don't like mess being attached to my brand and my business. So I kind of kept it as clean as possible.
Like, yeah, let me tell you what, Tasha, I'm so impressed with you right now because, you know, our phone calls are not like this. And I'm
No,
just like, girl, I'm like, you are so well spoken, girl. What is that? Like, I was going, because this ain't, because, you know, yeah, our phone calls is real girlfriend chitter chatter. I'm like, Tasha, I am impressed, girl. This
well,
is how you become the kids.
well, I like to say I made it my point to be on my best behavior today. I'm very ready to respect your professional platform.
Well, thank you.
You know, but at
I was
any
like,
point, if you press go mode on the other one, I'm here for that too, baby. I'm just waiting.
right.
Any minute
so,
now.
so now you're a self-taught makeup artist, right?
Yes.
So that's so it's safe to say there was a lot of mistakes
Oh, yeah.
and growing pains with trying to figure it out. So talk to me about just growing and finding what the right look is.
Oh man, let me tell you something. I look back at where I started and I'm like, Lord, thank you that I'm still thank you that there wasn't social media to blast. Did we lose each other? Am I here?
No, we here. No, we here. I'm
Okay.
here.
When we started, you talking, there was no social media. It was all word of mouth. It was all hard work. So fortunately, I started working in the mall. Okay. I'm born and raised in Atlanta. I'm a Grady baby. I started right here at Lenox. I was a manager at Bloomingdale's, and then I started working for Mac as a freelancer. I stayed there for about 6 years. And then I had the fortunate opportunity to travel the world with Kelly Rowland amongst a lot of other people. And then my children were getting older. And so then I came back home and I didn't have anywhere to work. So that's when I opened my business in the Buckhead area in 2014. But baby, when I tell you, I, oh, and there wasn't the click and the follow and the tag alongs so it was definitely. I remember, if you really want to laugh, I remember being so nervous about a job one time that I absolutely picked up the wrong brush. I picked up a lipstick brush and dipped it in some eyeshadow. There, I created a glossy wet eyeshadow, and that was not my intent. I'm talking about that eyelid was sticking. I was like, so, the Gemini in me, I just played it off and I proceeded to make the other eyelid just as sticky. And we're going to carry on and we're going to make that the look that's happening today, girl. You look good. Don't blink. Her shit was stuck like this.
Wait, so when stuff like that happens, was it you have to talk the client into like, girl, this is it. This is the new thing, girl. This is.
No, see, thank God I was still at the retail counter during that time. But I was like, you know what I did? I had to convince. I was like, you know what? This is creative. You have a photo shoot. This is gonna look really, really good. I promise. You know, it was definitely the persuasion. Like, don't worry about it. You just own it. When you know something looks good and you own it, it looks good. So let's just say from that experience, I've learned to check my brushes. I've learned to stay very organized when I'm working, and I've learned to slow down. So, you know, it's been a great journey. It's been a fun journey, but it's been a journey. You know, like anybody else, you have your goods and your bad. You have your times that you want to remember, and some you hope to forget. So that's just life. You know, the good far outweighs the bad any day. I could definitely say that.
Now, I know that you work with a lot of celebrities. You mentioned Kelly Rowland. So a lot of the makeup artists I know, they always want to know about getting an agent, having a manager. When is the time to do that? Or so for you, did you ever get a manager or agent, or was you really just pound the page and making these things happen for yourself?
Honey, we out here busting down the block with some blush, okay? Word of mouth, working hard, passing out your cards. You know, I really built reputation. It was word of mouth then. You know what I mean? And I think that when you were able to get to one person and do an amazing job, they tell the next person. So it was built off that old school work ethic. You know, thank God that we do have a platform now where things can move a little bit quicker, and it's fair grounds for everybody. You know what I mean? I think like
but does everybody need to have fair ground?
well, then some people just don't know what to do with the ground when they get on it. See, some people. Now, what ground are you on? Are you on quicksand?
Right.
Are you on pavement?
Right. A lot
Are
of us be
you
on quicksand.
are you in the mud?
Right.
All grounds are not good grounds.
Right.
But what I say, well, here's the thing I say about social media, because it has its pros and its cons. I believe that sometimes when you get things too fast, you may not appreciate them, and then sometimes you don't really know how to move in a professional atmosphere, because you may have been doing what you've been doing from home or a smaller place, and then when you get into a different environment, you may not understand. You may have to adjust accordingly. You understand what I'm saying? Not change who you are and not change what you do, but just adjust for the atmosphere in which you're working in at that moment. And I think that there are amazing artists out here. That is the beautiful thing about the world we live in. You have talent globally. You have international talent all around the world that's now on one platform. So when they are put into a predicament to move into a business atmosphere, or they're able to come in and work for a label, or you're able to come in and work for a show, my advice to those artists just is to understand professionalism, and there's like a code of ethics, and there is and there is some things that love you too that they may not understand, that has to apply in order to come back again, you know. And I think that's what's really missing sometimes when you are self-taught and self-informed. It's hard to listen to other people sometimes when you feel you've arrived and you've made it, but honestly, we've never really made it. What is making it really? Because I know every time I set a new one. So, if I'm here today, but I go here tomorrow, I'm still reaching for the stars. So I feel like we're forever learning, we're forever growing, we're forever evolving. And I think that is what I would love my millennials and my new artists to understand, that each one can still teach one. And then what you do over here may not necessarily keep you over there, so to say. So don't burn no bridges along the way, sweetheart, because that same person you may pass, coming up, you're going to see them again, because the world is very small and the industry is even smaller.
Now, when did you acquire? Well, what is your makeup aesthetic? Like, what's the kind of makeup you like to do?
Oh, I am some good old classic timeless glam. Like, I love makeup that you don't know what period or what place or how old you are. You know what I'm saying? I'm about glam that is universally beautiful, that is timelessly pretty, that is just complements who you are naturally. I love the aesthetics of a woman, just the beautiful features of the human anatomy. So I try to follow that. It's like a good curl. That thing don't need to be tight. You know what I mean? You just want that to kind of flow a little bit. Well, I kind of dust with that same vibe of just complimenting who you are, making sure you're polished and perfected is my aesthetics that I tend to lean towards.
Now, when did you know that, and I hope I'm asking this right, but when did you know that you had the right look to market the right look? If that, did I ask that right?
You did. Actually, I've never been asked a question to that capacity. Well, it started when I was in the mall, and it would be a busy Saturday. This was many years ago, and everyone would stand and wait for me. And I'm tired and I'm wore out. They're like, "Oh no, I'll wait for you." And I'm thinking to myself, "I really don't want you to wait for me." I'm like, I'm tired, but they would line up. Okay. And do you know who was one of my first clients? Shamia used to dance for the Falcons many years ago.
Oh yeah.
And I had all the Hawks dancers, and they would come in and they wanted to ask me all these questions, and I just really realized that, what, God had given me a bit of grace, and he had given me a little bit of favor. And then I just started to kind of like not let fear hold me back, as to say, is this for me? And then, someone told me, well, why not for you? And so then I just realized with that, do the right thing with what you're giving, and then he will give you more. And then I have been able to touch the world. I have been able to, move and build a business in my city. And I'm blessed for that, because it's really not about me. I love, bringing on other artists, mentoring other artists. And there's people that I look up to. As a matter of fact, I listened to your live yesterday with Danessa Myers, and I was very humbly impressed. And
Mhm.
I loved her as a makeup artist and a creative and a businesswoman. But then I found myself really liking her as a person, and I was like,
Mhm.
wow. So I want to commend you on utilizing your platform and following, you know, your heart's desire, because now people are able to see other sides of people that they may not know, and it allows a little bit of relatability to come across
Mhm.
on your page. And I think it's just amazing that now we can connect past our craft, but then we can actually, you know, hear what we have to say from a personal perspective.
Mhm. Yeah, because I think the thing with these conversations is that we know you do makeup. We know you good. We know you do makeup. We know you do good makeup. Because if you did, I wouldn't be talking to you. So we know that part. So let's dip and dab on that, but also let's know who Latasha is. Let's know what. Because like the thing is, like Tasha. I mean, I'm gonna put your business out there, but I remember when we one day we were talking and you were like, and we were talking about finances, and I was like, and I told you about how much money I had in the bank. You was like, oh nigga, you need to get together. Like that ain't. You was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I was like, wait, girl, how much money you got in the bank? And like I said, we speak freely. And she told me, I was like, girl, what? And you like, yeah. She was like, and you need to have that kind of money in the bank too. What is wrong with you? And and
That's why I love you so much. Cause you know what? Let me tell you a little secret. I've always lived below my means, and being a single mother with 2 kids. Well, I actually have 3 now, but even with my older 2 who are now 20 and 19, I just never had enough, because as long as I had them, I knew I had to be responsible with what I had. You know what I mean? And so I made a lot of sacrifices to make sure I had some type of cushion at all times. So even when I had it, I act like I didn't have it. And even when I started making a lot of money, I still lived at the same level that I did before I got it. You understand what I'm saying? Because in the back of my mind, I was like, well, what if I break my arm? Or what if I break a leg or something and I can't work? I can't be homeless. I can't go check to check because my kids have to eat, and I'm the provider of my home. I am the head of my household. And even with my 3rd child, I could suggest that every woman out here want a background check on these men out here. I definitely say that. The scammers in Atlanta are very real. So are the con artists. So I still have that attitude to this day, to make sure that I'm responsible. Sometimes, honey, I'm so used to going hard, I forget not to take my boots to bed. You know, because when you paving and you working hard and you going and you going and you going, and all you know is you have so many people depending on you. You have these little people depending on you. I could never not say, or I could never not have. So that's kind of where that came from. And it just always stuck with me, you know? So that's just how I was able to kind of make sure there was a cushion, because I didn't have an option. I'd say that.
Now speaking of your kids, and and I say this, I say this every time because I just like people understand why I ask this question. Um, because there's a lot of women that want to start businesses and be an entrepreneur, be all those things. So you knowing that it's a grind up in it, I know there was plenty of times that you weren't able to be with your kids as much as you wanted to, and you may have missed certain things. So one, how did you balance all this as a mother? And then two, did you feel guilty as a mother going after your dream and your passion? Um, did you ever feel guilty?
All day, every day. I used to set a 2-week goal. I could never stay out the country more than 2 weeks. And sometimes you overcompensate with things. And then I really felt bad, like, oh my God, all they wanted was a memory. And what I mean by memory is like a trip to Disney World, or just riding their bike, going skating, going to the pool. So all those things, now that I'm a little bit older, I realize that the value is in the moments. And I still battle with balance, because like I said, when you're making sure that you're taking care of your business, sometimes a business is 24 hours. There isn't a 9 to 5, because like we see now with COVID-19, when the industry shuts down, you still have a show to run, and the show means your shop, the show means your home. And so I still battle with that to this day. Like when I leave, I have my 2-year-old, and I still find myself kind of on that same path of like, okay, Latasha, you can't take every job. So now I have no problem saying no, or maybe not right now. Or if I don't say no, I just set a limit to how long I can be gone. And then I try to put people in place to cover um, my longer days. I can't really work the long days like I used to, because I find so much joy in not missing those milestones. And I think in my other two children, I missed a lot of milestones, and I still have that guilt to this day. So I'm trying not to make that same mistake. But balance is challenging between trying to work out and have a healthy lifestyle, run a business, run a brand, build a company, transition. I totally look up to Steve Harvey. I mean, he started cracking jokes, but I mean, this man, when I seen him on a box of bacon, I knew there was no limit to the multiple streams of income.
Right.
Oh, you know, you want Family Feud. I mean, this man is on the radio. I knew that I had to step it up. And so sometimes I even have a conversation with myself. I'm like, Tasha, you don't need to sleep. There's no time to sleep. There's something to do. But I realize that I find my most peace when I am in my isolation, because I can think. And I can focus, because sometimes you get on Instagram and it's like going down the rabbit hole. You're supposed to be there for 5 minutes and you're there 5 hours later. So I actually limit that as well. Sometimes I'll post and then get off and then go back after I've handled my business, because I know some things can be a little distracting. Great for the motivation and to knowing what's going on, but sometimes it can be a distraction when you have a lot going on.
Now, the one thing I always tell you that I think that people don't get to know about you is that, like, you are like a Renaissance woman. Like, you do every damn thing. And I'm just like, I'm like, you work out, you cook, you do arts and crafts, you walk with it, like you do everything. And so we're talking about balance. When do you find the time to even do all this stuff? And I'm like, when does she cook? Like, or when does she do this? Or when was she in the gym sweating this out? So, like, when? How do you?
And I got some new accolades. I can roar like a dinosaur. I hop like a rabbit now with my baby. I didn't know I could make all those sounds. The end of my resume. Oh my God. And it's funny because I do not give my baby anything out of a can. I make everything from scratch. I snap my green beans. I cut up my carrots. And to be honest with you, so here's what I decided. I have to wake up before the sun comes up, because if I don't, when he wakes up, the day's gone. So I have to sneak out my house too before he wakes up. So what I do is I know that if he wakes up around this time, I've already tried to leave, go to the gym, go for a walk. And here's the thing, I actually take him with me. I have a very nice stroller. We run down the street, and I don't really get a lot of rest. I'm going to be honest with you, but I take a lot of great vitamins, and I find a lot of organic supplements. I'm really into health. I'm really into herbs. I'm really into making sure you put all the nutrients in your body that people don't talk about, like zinc and things that we miss. We talk about ginger. We talk about turmeric. We talk about, garlic, but sometimes there's some other essential herbs that we can add to that regimen as well. So as I work on the balance, as I have become Superwoman, what I've started to do is implement my children in that process and take them with me, because I feel like I'm rushing to get back home all the time. So what I really do is I'm training him. You sit your ass down at this restaurant, and so then therefore we're able to and place him into my lifestyle that I live. And so, which is, I love fine dining and I love working out. So I actually work out while he's playing on the playground. So, for example, while he's playing, I'm doing push-ups or I'm doing crunches. I take my little mat out with me to the park, and I'm that girl out there on the green, And so I'm doing crunches while he's sliding.
So that, and if y'all haven't went to her page and follow her. But then y'all will also see what we sit here talking about and why I'm all like, so how do you do this? Because the girl fine from head to toe. Like, it ain't just this face right now, Ty. She fine all the way down, y'all.
You sweet.
I mean, Tasha, you know, I'll big you up forever today.
And I'm right on your back, baby. I'm here for you.
Yes, no, you are. We're here for each other, honey. Yes. Now, I want to talk to you about something we do talk about a lot, and I think that people don't have an understanding about, is that people think being a celebrity hair or makeup artist is the thing to do, but nobody really talks about nobody talks about those conversations of, yeah, I might have been with you for 5 years, and then one day I'm just not with you no more, and you don't understand, and don't nobody know why, and you
Yeah.
just kind of like gone, or like you're molding your life around a client's life because they
Mm-hmm.
need you there 24/7, and then one day it just stops with no explanation. And it's like some other. So, how do you deal with those situations? Well, one, the question was a yes or no question because we don't need names. Has it happened to you? And then two, how do you deal with those situations? Like, I know for me, my feelings was hurt. I felt a certain type of way. I was all mad about things, like But so how do you work through? One, has it happened to you, and then two, how do you work through it? Let me
Oh,
get my charger.
absolutely. It's definitely. I'm gonna grab my charger really quickly. Oh, absolutely. I've been through that. I'm not exempt to any of the pros and cons that comes along with this journey. And then how do I deal with it? You know what? I had to learn not to take it personal because it would really hurt me. Right? And I'm like, you're effective because you sacrifice so much of your time. You made yourself
Mm-hmm.
available. You put your job and the need of someone else before your own. You miss holidays, and you may miss family vacations. And then
Mm-hmm.
it's like you think that they're gonna give you the same amount of um sorry. You think that they're
It's
gonna
okay.
give you the same amount of loyalty that you've given them. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it can be a shocker. And so what I learned to do is after it happened once, I had to just adjust myself and then don't take it personal.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard not to take that shit personal because your time was real personal. You know, can't get that back. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so then you find yourself like, had I would have known this, I would have made some different decisions. And your feelings are hurt because when you spend that much time with people and they become family, they become more than a client, they become a friend. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And so that's something that everyone's going to go through. I've been through it, and I made myself aware that people may not move the same way you move. People may not take your feelings in account and hold them in high regards if you would have liked them to. And then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I have to realize it may not be about you. It may not even have anything to do with you. And so I tell
Mm-hmm.
people, just know that you're here for a season in anyone's life, not a lifetime. Just know that you're here for a moment. It could be a project. So don't get too attached. Keep things very personal. I'm sorry, very professional and not personal. So then when they make a professional decision to let your ass go, you're not personally affected.
Mm-hmm.
And then we
And I
just
know it all, and it sounds very easy, but it's a lot. You
hard.
have to actually put work into, like, you have to do it. Like, you have to be
Mm-hmm.
aware and conscious. You have to make a conscious decision to make that happen.
Mm-hmm. Because your
Mm-hmm.
feelings hurt. Like, if I get up every day and my job is to make your job as easy and efficient and as beautiful as I possibly can, I'm
Mm-hmm.
giving to you because I enjoy that. That is my job. And then also, I care. So when you just up and make a switch without a warning or a heads up, hey, I want to go this direction. And you know what? It's not about people going a different direction. That's not the issue. It's the issue they didn't have a conversation. So you
And that's
wasn't
all.
prepared for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
that's the gag. But
But
you gotta
and
get that.
the other gag that I had to understand for myself too is that first part you said, that to us, they become family and friends, but to
Mm-hmm.
them, we still workers, honey.
You are the help.
You.
So I just help myself where I am in my space to help as many people as possible. Since I'm the help. So when you make a switch, and then everything else is not gonna switch on your switch. It's gonna keep shifting in an upward
Mhm.
direction. Okay?
Mhm.
So that's how you
Mhm.
have to do that.
Yeah. You got. It's very, especially the celebrities of this day. Um, they're not as loyal
Yeah.
as back in the day.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
they're not as loyal as back in the day because everything is just as quickly
Mm-hmm.
as things change as quickly as it is. And I think, and like you said, I said, it's just a hard pill to swallow when you put, like you said, you put so much time in somebody and you're
Mm-hmm.
thinking that you are creating a bond in a relationship. You be like, oh wait, why'd you? When did you do this? Like, you see a picture,
Yeah.
it's like, I didn't do this. You're like,
Yeah.
well, wait, well, when this picture get taken? Well, matter of
Yeah.
fact, I didn't even see you in a couple of months, girl. What's going on? You like, what the fuck is happening here? And
Yeah.
and you just don't know. But
Mm-mm.
yeah, I just want to see you guys. I like to give y'all this real insights of what we all go through
Mm-hmm.
as artists and is trying to make it and make it into this space. Now, there's so many from a makeup standpoint. Now, from a hair standpoint, we get it, but from a makeup standpoint, y'all really get it from a social media standpoint because people are just doing their own faces.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all they do is do their own faces. And
Mm-hmm.
and they're getting deals from cosmetic companies and they have these celebrities chasing after them but can't do anything else. So as a professional in this industry that has learned the craft and created the look and know the aesthetic and know how does that make you feel in any type of way as far as that, are you, or is what's you for you for you?
It's a little bit of both. I remember being on set. I think we were out the country doing a video. It was like me, Kelly, Nelly, and some people, and there was a YouTuber that duplicated her look. And
Mm-hmm.
she's like, this is what she did. And I'm mad. I'm like, well, I wish I would have duplicated my own look 2 years ago and would have been on YouTube because she's probably making more money than me right now
Mm-hmm.
from her house. And so for me, I feel like, okay, so here's the thing. They do that full time for themselves because they maybe did not have the experience to do other people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they monetize their money on themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing less work, less people. And so I had to monetize my money doing many. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I think they do something I ain't know.
You was like, I wish I would have known that.
I wish I would have. So what happens is because we're old school, when social media first came around, I was like, I don't have to do that. I ain't got time for that. I work, 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 work. But then you look up, it's like, whoa,
Mm-hmm.
I wish I would have took the time. Because here's the tea. When you're on set and you're on these shows, you're working for everybody else. You're building their brand, you're building their platforms, you're building their shows.
Mm-hmm.
And when you take that time to sit in the mirror and do your face, you're working for you and your platform and your brand and your company and your image. So you got to
Mm-hmm.
kind of understand that if you're not doing both at the same time, which one are you doing? Because that's the one that's going to grow the most. That's the one that's going to move forward. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find the balance of maintaining my company, my branding, working in the industry at the same time, making sure that I'm putting as much effort into working for the right look and building the right
Mm-hmm.
recipes and making sure, because my goal for myself is not about me, it's to become a sellable company. If you're not working towards being a brand and a company that is sellable, then what are you really working towards? And at the end of the day, if
Mm-hmm.
your company does not monetize and branch off into a retail space, then you can't provide a service on your feet forever. So when I really
Mm-hmm.
begin to understand that, then I begin to shift my focus and I move with purpose. You know what I'm saying? What I do, I'm doing it for more than money. And I make a conscious decision. Does it make sense for me? Because if it don't make sense for me, then it's not for me. And I have no problem turning down a job, a client, a situation, or anything else if it's not going to make sense for me, because everything's, and you
Mm-hmm.
know what, also too, you got to be okay with knowing you're past that time, like you're past that project. Now I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying you ever are too big, but what I am saying, pass pass that on to somebody else. I will say that sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of passing stuff on, speaking of passing stuff on to somebody else, I know, girl, they blowing you up today, ain't they? Speaking of passing stuff on to other
I mean,
people, right?
I'm on your
We,
vibe, I'm looking hot.
right. um, me and you like to give back, and we like to give back to people. We like to give our knowledge to people, but
Oh yeah.
we don't get the. I don't know if it's the. I don't know what we don't look for anything back in return. I think we look for like respect back in return that we don't get. We don't look for probably like a loyalty back in return that we also don't get. So I know I've been through it. I know you've been through it. So as a business owner, and the people that have other makeup artists, how do you deal with that? With people may want to try to take your clientele or you're pouring all into them and then they're talking bad about you behind your back that gets back to you. So as a business owner and as a working, because we're still working in the industry. So it's not like we just own the business and we're not working. Like you're working in the industry too. So how do you deal with those type of situations?
I just expect them. You know what I mean? I hope for the best, but I expect one. It's like dealing with a man. Anybody that got balls come with bullshit. I knew you wasn't ready.
You know, I was not ready for that. Why I had water in my mouth.
So I'm on a serious note. I figured that was a good time for that.
Right. So you just expect it.
You pray that it doesn't occur, but you know at some point it will. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't necessarily know what cloth somebody cut from. You know what I'm saying? Just like you solid and you keep it 100 and you're loyal and you're grateful and you're generous and you're appreciative of people, that's how you was raised. So I looked for understanding when I interview people. I ask about their background. I ask about their family. See, it's hard for people to strive when they've been so busy trying to survive. So if you have a survivor, then they have a survivor's mentality, which means there's no limit to what they would do to get to where they want to be. And that includes getting over on you. You understand what I'm saying? I dig deeper than what I see. I ask very specific questions. And see, and in my life and our experiences of dealing with con artists and people, I began to really pay attention to not necessarily what people say, but what they do. And that has actually, it's actually made me a stronger businesswoman. It's made me a stronger woman. I pray for a spirit of discernment. Because people are going to get over. That's just what people do. And when you have reached the heights where someone wants to be, they would do anything to get to your position. So you just got to pray God keep you covered. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing: when the customers come and go, and they do decide to go another direction, which is fine because you have that right. I just pray for something bigger and better to replace that situation, to replace that job, to replace that person. And he ain't failed me yet. You know what I'm saying? I have not been let down once. And here's the thing: sometimes I just look at situations like I'm LeBron, baby. You know, I'm still the MVP of the game, but sometimes he got to sit on the bench too. You know what I'm saying?
Now wait, Latasha, I'm about to steal this because say that to me one more time. You said it's the difference between people. You said that somebody trying to survive, and what's the other one? But who is?
Yeah.
What did you say?
It's hard to strive when you're trying to survive.
Survive. There you go. Yeah. Yes, girl. Now I'm gonna steal that, Tasha. Now I wasn't ready for that.
Please do, because here, and that really helps you understand the mental and why people do what they do, why they act the way they act, why they move the way they move. You see what I'm saying? And I don't take it personal. I just keep your ass away from me. You see what I'm saying? You can't be around me because you don't have a limit. You don't have a limit. So you don't have a cutoff. And so I just pay attention to that. Those people are out there, but those just can't be the ones that work with me and beside me. You know what I mean? That's all it is. People gonna be who they are, and that's fine. I just pray that I see them for who they are, not who they present themselves to be. You gotta watch out in Atlanta, baby. You know, the fake is the new real, and unfortunately, I don't live by that law. But I'm just saying.
So let's talk about these. Let's talk about these businesses. So you have the Wright Look makeup studio, right? Do you have the Wright Look lip gloss, correct? Or lip? Is it a gloss or a makeup? Lip collection. There you have the right recipe. Yes. So with the right recipe, which is your newest endeavor, the right recipe. I saw you just mixing up. I'm like, when is she over here? So let me tell y'all something about Latasha. Latasha disappears, and I was like, Latasha was gone for a couple of months, and I was like. And I just called I said, girl, wait, what's the deal, girl? You ain't been on Instagram. What's happening? She said, just be quiet. I'll see you in a second. And I'm like, wait, girl, what's going on? I'm like, what's going on? So then I called her again. I'm like, Tasha, what's going on? She's like, I'm working on something. Da, 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 da. So if y'all go back about 2 weeks back on her page, then she bust out with she bust out on a waterfall with bathing suits. So I was like, what is going on? But she created the right recipe. And what is the right recipe?
The right recipe is a collaboration of everything that you need to look right, be right. It's the right lifestyle, but it's all a recipe of survival, how to look good, how to feel good, how to stay good mentally, physically, emotionally, all wrapped up in one recipe. I could make a recipe for you right now. And the beautiful thing about it is I'm able to shed light on other brands. I'm able to tell people what I'm using, how to put it together, what to use to get this look. I'm able to say, you know what, this recipe right now is going to be for good glam. This one's for good hair. This one's for a good lifestyle. This one is how to lose weight. This one is how to bounce back. So I was able to use it. See, God will isolate you to elevate you. You know what I'm saying? So what I was able to do was like cook up a whole bunch of good stuff and then write out a card, you know what I mean? And put it on a card and make sure that when you place that card in your pocket, or you place that card in your makeup kit, or you place that card in your barber box, you can read all my ingredients that I listed, and I promise you're going to look good. You're going to look right. So it is a customized collaborative effort of a lot of ingredients and brands to give you what you need for whatever it is that you're looking for, all in one place.
And where can you find this stuff at?
Well, right now you can find it on thewrightlook.com, thewrightrecipe.com, but very soon you'll be able to see it a whole lot of places.
Because you've been working.
And it's all bagged up. So my recipe cards are separate. You know, I sell survival bags. I sell COVID bags. I sell Mr. Right bags. So for my ladies who don't want to give that man no excuse to leave your house. Oh, baby, I left my do-rag. Baby, I left my brush. Don't worry about it. You go get him this Mr. Right bag. It has all his essentials he need. A shower cap, a wave cap, a brush, a pick, beard oil, hand cream, lip conditioner, manicure set. He ain't going nowhere. Don't even let him leave. You know, they be lying.
So when he say I got it right here. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
And so for you,
all my wives whose husbands have gotten a little comfortable and he don't really put too much into himself, or he tired, or he got bigger things to worry about, give it to him. Massage him. Keep him looking good. Keep your man healthy and handsome. You know what I'm saying? Even for my young men, my teenagers, my young fellas, groom them up to be well-groomed guys. You know what I'm saying? We have to teach people how to take care of themselves and groom themselves and maintain themselves. It's the right way to do it. And, and I'm just really using my beauty knowledge in the industry to actually package it up to place it in the homes of Americans all over the world. Is really my goal.
You better be QVC, girl. You better have your QVC spill.
I love you so much. I don't know if I'm supposed to be working. I'm having fun.
No, you know,
best behavior. This is live.
No,
not on FaceTime now, okay?
No, we are having a good conversation. We are having a good conversation. She said, "Do you ship internationally?"
Absolutely. We're global. We're global.
So with you, with you creating all of these businesses and doing all these things, do you get scared? Do you get nervous? Do you feel like, oh my God, this may not work? Maybe I'm just thinking crazy, and maybe this is all, like, do you have all those emotions, and how do you work through them?
Yeah, I feel like anybody else. I'm like, Lord, I pray this works. And then I'm like, it has to work. But you know what? Whatever I do in excellence. And I do it with integrity, and I pray over it. And I'm like, you know what? When you do things with the right intentions, with the right motives, it may not work when you want it to work, but it's all going to align for perfect timing when it's supposed to work. A lot of these companies, like I thought about years ago, I thought about tapping into the men's grooming market many years ago, but guess what? It wasn't the right timing. You understand what I'm saying? Our black men matter. Our black lives matter. It's the perfect time. So I feel like anybody else. And I feel like, how am I going to jump into this when I haven't even really executed this at the highest possible capacity? You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, maximize this before you're trying to go over here and do this. But no. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm a cat. Okay, I got 9 lives. I got 9. Call me cat lady. 9 lives, 9 personalities. I'm a Gemini, so I feel I can do 9 things all at one time. So let me tell you how you balance this thing out. You just got to have 9 good people around you to assist you. I realize I cannot do things by myself. I am so thankful for everybody that works with me, beside me. Nobody works for me; they work with me. I value everybody in my life, my friends, my staff, my family, my colleagues. And so I really try to give people the appreciation and the love that I want. And I just sow seeds in very good soil, and I sow seeds in good people's lives. Because when I need a favor, I'm going to need you to come on. And when I call you, and I might need to ask you a question, I don't even need nothing from you, but just a good answer, a bit of advice, a good little bit of a mentorship, because I'm still growing. You know, where I want to be, I'm not there yet. There are people that I look up to. There's companies I look up to. There's brands I look up to. So my goal is this. If there's a girl that wants my position, I want to give it to her so I can go to the next one. So you can't be afraid to move out the way and step over and go to the next seat, which means you cannot be scared to start a new business. You can't be started. And here's the thing. I don't ever feel like I failed, because I've made some mistakes, but I've learned from my lessons. So, you know, everything didn't work out sometime. Everything didn't go as planned, but it ended up teaching me something that I wouldn't have learned had it went right. Because I would have thought the shit was too easy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he's humbled me in a lot of ways and in a lot of areas, but that was for my growth. You know what I mean? So I just was like, you know, I've been through so much. Like, I couldn't turn lemons into lemonade. That shit just had to be some real lemon drops. Okay.
That's just got to be her. He's like, no lemonade, honey. It's got to be some sour lemons. That's what's got to be.
A lot of vodka.
Okay. So my last question for you, Tasha, is what advice would you give any just artists in general that's trying to just step up to the next level, just try to, you know, they see where you are, even though you're trying to go somewhere else, but they just want to, even just to get you the point where you are now. What advice would you give them?
I'm going to give them, stay consistent. I'm very blessed. I'm very humble. You know, I am here from hard work, no college education. You know, I did not go to school. I've learned through trial and error, but I've also realized that I never quit. You know, I've had some hardships. I had some wins. I've had some losses. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to win every game, you know what I'm saying? But you do want to win the championship. And the championship is only going to be with you and yourself. So I'll tell any artist, study your craft and find out, what do you want to do? Who do you want to be, and why? Okay, why are you doing what you're doing? I know why I do what I do. It's not for the money, because that comes. And then find out, what do you want to be known for? What do you want your company to be known for? And find somebody that has done it, that has executed it, that is an example of what it looks like. And try to take some bits and pieces of knowledge from that particular person or that company and implement it into your life. I'm sorry about that. And don't ever get up, and another thing is, don't compare yourself to anybody. You never know what somebody's been going through. You never know what it took for them to get to where they are. Be happy with you. Count every blessing as a step towards you where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? Celebrate every milestone. Celebrate every step for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because you may not be where you want to be, but you're further. It's like a ladder. It's a ladder to your legacy. It's a ladder to success, and you take those steps daily. You know what I'm saying? So don't beat yourself up on the back. If you didn't reach your goal, if you didn't hit your target, that's okay. Because as long as you have tomorrow, hit reset. I hit reset every damn day. Okay. I still hit reset. I hit reset this morning. You know.
And it's okay to reset.
It's okay to reset. It's okay to restart. It's okay to make some adjustments. It's okay to, you know, here's what I tell people. Your life is a book. It's a book. You're writing chapters daily. And if you didn't have some struggles and some hardships, it wouldn't be interested. You know what I mean? So I embrace everything, good and bad, and I've had more hardships than people could ever imagine. But it made me who I am, and it allows me to have a little bit more relatability to people. I have more patience than I used to, and I actually find I get most of my joy by being able to help the next person have real ass conversations. You know, everything that glitter may not be gold, but I tell you, as long as it's shiny, you can keep going. The light will reflect off of it, put on a lot of highlighter, and keep going. You know. Do
Mm-hmm.
not stop. And I think that's just been my motto every day. And I don't have an option. When you're a mother and you have people depending on you and you know that what you're doing is not for you, but it's about everybody else, my goal is to use my platform for a purpose, and that's to elevate and educate. And that is why I continue to do what I do.
Mm. Well, I just have one request for you. I just need a right look. I need a right recipe for, like, I just need something because I can't do nothing, Tasha. I just need a little concealer here, a eyebrow, a little
Uh-huh.
gloss,
Okay.
a little highlight. So just give me the right recipe for that.
Oh, okay.
Something I can do myself.
Okay, well, you know what? Actually, we're back up today. I will send you the right recipe cards, and it's going to break down. My right recipe cards will tell you how to apply your brow, how to get the brow shape, the products you need, how to fill them in. You may not know. So brow pencils come in creams and gels and,
Oh
waterproof
yeah.
powders. But I break all of that down. And you know what's even more good? I actually allow you a 10-minute FaceTime session with me.
Oh.
Get into it. Because I'm here for you.
Mm.
All that.
Tasha, so text me the stuff so I can post it on my thing so people can know, so I can promote my sister. I didn't know you had all this stuff.
Yes, I wrote all that out, and it comes in some recipe cards. These are tangible recipes, and they're to put in your bathroom. They're gonna go into your makeup pouch. They're to go into your well-groomed guy's grooming bag. You know what I mean? If people don't understand, I'm gonna say this because I love giving tips. People don't understand makeup does not break you out. It's just not having the right understanding. So I feel like this before you start cleansing your face, make sure you use a makeup wipe or get a little cotton pad with some makeup remover. Get all that waterproof product off, and then proceed to cleanse your face. You know what I'm saying? So there's steps and processes you need to maintain a healthy lifestyle, healthy skincare, a healthy regimen. Making sure that you understand your skin type. There's so much knowledge out there that we don't talk about and we don't know because a lot of us were like surviving. So who has time to be pampering and taking care of themselves? But self-care is the best thing you could do for yourself. You can't care for somebody else unless you take a few minutes and be a little bit selfish with yourself, and that's okay.
That's why I love you, Tasha. Thank you so much for being here with me today and sharing your knowledge. And you guys, I'm gonna put on my story, a swipe up so you can go to the right look and the right recipe, so you can find those things. I love you so much, sister, and I will call you right when we go for this because we got some other stuff to talk about.
I just want to put out there, if there's anything that I can do for you, my Mikasa is your Mikasa, and I have you as well, babe. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, love. Bye bye. Just having good people in your life and just good energy is just so amazing, you guys. Tomorrow I have another good girlfriend of mine, Jane, the wig maker. I cannot say Jane's last name because it's an African last name. And I don't know how to say it, but it's Jane, the wig maker. And she will be here tomorrow with me from the Virgin Hair Fantasy, and we're gonna be talking about her business, and just about being in business and how to get things started and all that good stuff. So I will see you guys tomorrow at 5 o'clock.